X-Men 2 The Clone Wars dropped in February of 1995 on the Sega Genesis, just 2 years after the original self-titled game, and 1 year after Super Nintendo's X-Men Mutant Apocalypse. Additionally, it was the final X-Men release of the 16-bit home console era, and while this game released with mixed reviews in 1995, I strongly believe that this is the best of the bunch. The main reason I feel this way is that they finally gave us unlimited use of each character's mutant ability. It took 3 freaking games, but they finally did it and it's glorious. Do you want to blast your way through levels with Cyclops? Go ahead. Do you want to throw out 1,000,000 cards as Gambit? Have fun. This alone was such a breath of fresh air after playing the first with its energy bar, or even Mutant Apocalypse where you had to input a Street Fighter-esque combo in order to use your abilities. It was a blast to be able to spam your abilities in this game, and I'm glad the developers got it right. With that said, the ability to spam your powers really made some of these characters stand out better than others. We have a pretty mixed cast in this one. The A-teamers, in my opinion, were easily Cyclops and Wolverine, with Gambit coming right behind them. Nightcrawler was okay. He was extremely mobile, but I didn't find his teleportation to be very helpful in most situations. Psylocke was pretty meh. You could use her energy sword, but there were a few enemies that it just didn't do anything to. Beast, though, he sucked. And I don't know why developers of the era kept throwing him into games. Storm, Jean, or Rogue would have been so much better choices here. Also, after level 3, you unlock the Master of Magnetism himself, and playing as Magneto was such a joy for nostalgic purposes. He was unique in that he didn't have any melee abilities, but he could blast, float, and hover in midair. Also, he has an awesome power strut in this game. That just shows he means business. Now, something that I found extremely interesting about this game is that as soon as I started up, you were immediately thrown into a cold start. There are no menus, intros, or anything of the sort. Instead, the game throws you into a snowy location with a random character. It almost feels like a demo level, and was likely used for that purpose to show this game off in stores back in the day. The plot in this game is narrated by Professor Xavier through the use of Cerebro as he hacks into our minds. A techno-organic alien race known as the Phalanx has come to Earth and are spreading their virus and looking to conquer the planet. The game leads you through a Sentinel factory to Avalon to face off against Exodus and save Magneto from the virus. After that, the team flies off to face Apocalypse in his temple and stop his evil scheme of using the virus for his own purpose. After that, they head to the Savage Land to stop the Phalanx's clone of Brainchild, who is overseeing the virus's simulation. Finally, the X-Men head to the Phalanx's ship, where they face off against the Brood, their queen, and finally the Phalanx clones of all the X-Men. While this game is rather difficult at times, I never found it to be unfair or overwhelming. The levels provided some great platforming, and a lot of the characters were able to tackle them in different ways. One of my favorites was scaling walls with Wolverine and finding alternate paths at the end of the level. The sound design and music was good for the most part, and even found some of the songs to be pretty great. This was definitely a huge improvement over the first game. Additionally, I thought this game looked wonderful, and the big, colorful sprites fit each character perfectly. So after playing the previous 2 16-bit X-Men games recently, and even X-Men Legends, I'd say I easily had the most fun with this game. While it does have a few flaws, and some of the characters are kind of bland, sorry Beast, I do like you otherwise, this game is still a blast to play today in 2024. With X-Men 97's first season about to conclude, I highly recommend checking this game out if you're still jonesing for some X-Men content. Thank you for watching everybody, Shimmy signing out.